guys, it's Astra. So I basically finished the interior of 3 of the different islands that I made last time, and so I'm going to show you guys around them. The first one here is like an enchanting setup with a library and all the books you could ever want. I kind of blew up the side and like made it a blow up entrance because I realised that it's like all of the islands are intact, but if they're quite old and quite rustic then they wouldn't be intact because doesn't make obviously logical sense, because if they're old they're probably worn and torn. But I decided to use shroom lights to match with the like glowberry theme in this one, and basically I filled in the bottom with stone so it's a bit more even, and then I ended up using chisel bookshelves and regular bookshelves as well as an enchanting table. Okay, so now that's done, I end up moving on to a base that's more like someone's central area where they have their crafting and everything. I added these trees because basically I wanted to create like a structure around a tree house because I like making all the different islands very unique and very different. Then I add stairs up. I'm sticking with the dark theme. I decided to use dark oak for this one. I end up doing this because in basically the part below the island I end up putting in a nether portal, so I basically stick with the dark theme, have dark oak, and then I end up using I think it's nether brick walls, and so I basically make this like treehouse theme and basically put in all the essentials like crafting, stone cutters, grindstones, all the different furnaces. And so you'll see the part above ground now, and then I'll move down to the nether part. Okay, so as you can see here, I ended up removing the leaves on the trees because I was like, if it's going to be like an old style build where everything's been here for like ages, the island's been here for ages, then obviously the leaves would have fallen, and now you just have the really solid hardwood trunks left. And then you'll see me here building the stairs downstairs to the nether area. I end up breaking up the already existing lighting because it doesn't make sense to have that here. It was lit up because obviously otherwise it turns into a massive mob spawner, which is a pain to clear. But basically I decided I'd put my nether portal down here, as you have to have like a trip to the nether, as that's part of the game. And so I end up basically adding netherrack, nether bricks, chisel nether bricks, and some lava in here to add some more of a it's a nether, it's like spilling out into the overworld. You have basically your nether portal here, and like remnants of what the nether portal is coming into the overworld, kind of like how you have ruined portal frames. However, I did add candles to add it more of a like this is still the overworld kind of vibe. And then you could also see the stairs upstairs to the main part of the base, which then links in via moss to the rest of the other islands. Okay, and now we move on to the final island, which is like a storage island. It's the original island I built. It's quite large. Sorry for this perspective, obviously because of the shape of the islands, it's quite hard to get a good perspective in them. I ended up using sea lantern in this one because I want to go back to the kind of like naturally like gloomy lighting, similar to the one that I used in the fish island. And then I add pots and barrels and chests and a water elevator up to the top. So then it's kind of like you don't know you don't know what it is on the surface, however you hide it underneath. Similar to how if you have a hidden base you want to hide your storage area because it's got all your valuables in it. You can see, like similar to previous storage areas, I like to have it quite cluttered, disorganized, like someone just come in and chuck stuff in there, chucked it in, keep it storage. You end up basically seeing me build a water chute, and then I try and put in a copper golem, but due to the version that my mod is on, I can't. So you see me try that and then fail at that. I add a water elevator, I added stairs, I thought it'd make it look nice. As you can see, all the chests are not always in the same direction, they're kind of differed. I also couldn't figure out how to get like the pots with the patterns on it, because I also think that's not the right version for it, because unfortunately I think it's like Verge 4, I don't know what it is what I use for mods, but it won't let me get to the most modern version, so it won't let me do that. I'd also, I think, change this slightly in the future, because I might add armor stands in, but I will let you guys know. You can also see I didn't cover up any of the lighting, because otherwise it would get quite dark in there, and this is the best perspective I could get without it being like either in a chest or like directly in the ceiling. So I hope this is okay with you guys. As you can see here, here's the chest room finished. I've got barrels, I've got chests, I've got pots. I think in the future I'd end up adding armor and like armor trims, but I haven't had time for that because I've got so much work on. But that's basically this room. And then we move on to the enchanting room. Here's what it looks like from the outside. I kind of thought I'd do this like blow up, like you just like have to enter it via like the moth pathways. And then here's the inside with like the very I think it's quite greenery, it's very much mossy, and then you have the vines, and then you have the shroom lights, as if it was like exposed to the elements and then growing a lot of things. It's very earthy, very natural. But then it's also contrasted with the stone, showing how it's like, even though it has all this like greenery and like lights made from like shrooms, it's still very much man-made. And then you have the enchanting table in the center, which is like surrounded and almost dwarfed by the amount of like books and knowledge that there is. Then you have this final thing, which is like this wooden, like basically utility area where you have the massive campfire, and then the stairs down to the nether build, and then the basically like utilities like the crafting, the grindstone, stone cutter, furnaces, whatever. I think in the future I'd add a canopy to it. I think I might do that either in the next video because I'm still not done with this. There's so many islands I can build. And then add a bed in, because I think that you have to have somewhere to sleep. I mean, you can't just be sleeping on stone, that's not the way Minecraft works. And then down below you can see the nether part, which I've added in here. And then I love the nether brick and how it kind of looks like the nether spilling out into the overworld with like the soul lanterns. However, it still looks very much like it's been explored by people due to the candles, and then there's the fire and like the whole like hexscape of it all and that kind of vibe. Anyway guys, I'm going to finish here. This is the end of my video. I hope you guys have really enjoyed. This is just a short, simple video that I can quickly get done and just show you guys the interior, because I know it's more interesting than me building more islands. You never know how many islands an Astra can build. I think I'll end up finishing off the final island that I'm making, and then I will basically do a walkthrough with you guys, which will take like 5 minutes. You can kind of see the island in the background of this video. It ends up being like basically a massive gem. If you guys have watched the end, just give me any feedback on my content. This is just a quick 3 different item video. Get it done, get it like simple, effective. Anyway, Astra Nova out.